This is OZCAST. Join us walking down the yellow brick road and remembering the Wizard of Oz and Judy Garland and other fun conversations about the world of Oz. This is OZCAST. This is brought to you by Aaron Passantine. Learn more at the OZCast.com.
Someone very important, very special in the Oz community today, and that's Celia Foster, who many of you may remember her as being part of the series from the very beginning of Returning to Oz. And of course, she's here today with a part of the OZCAST series, and she'll be a part of the episodes every so often as we post new shows on the website. How are you, Celia?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. It's wonderful to hear from you again.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here again.
Good, good, good. It's been quite a while, and it seems like it's been months since you've been on the show, and I hope your life is going well these days.
Oh yes, it's very nice, but it only seems like yesterday to me that we started this. I remember our very first topic, and
Yeah, it was 2006 in the spring when we did the first show, and actually it was March, so it's been almost it's been, I think, now the fourth year, so 3 years.
Well, 3 years.
That's right.
2009.
Right, I know, very long time ago. Well, today we're going to be discussing, especially because Celia's here today, about Return to Oz again, and we're actually going to be discussing about the print advertisements and the posters for Return to Oz, and later on a special tribute to someone very special that was in the Return to Oz movie, and that is Mike. So, Celia, if you could first mention some things that you'd like everyone to be aware of about the posters, and maybe about the print advertisements as well.
Well, a lot of things were envisioned to bring this movie to life. A lot of things were, some of you may not know that the children's author and illustrator Maurice Sundin was actually commissioned to do illustrations for posters. But unfortunately, I think maybe due to the budget cuts that were made by the Disney studio, I do not think that they were able to come up with the money that they promised him. So he didn't get to do a lot of, he didn't get to do every single one of the posters he was supposed to. He was able to finish one poster, one illustration for a poster that exists. I had seen the book before. I don't remember the exact title of it, but it was something like Maurice Sundin illustrations for the movies as well. And some of you may not know that he was dabbling a little bit too in for movies. So he was able to finish one poster for that, and I've seen the picture before. It's of Dorothy and Tik-Tok standing in the middle of the Emerald City with the Oz people turned to stone. And Dorothy is actually, I think she's wearing a hat, and her hair is a lot shorter, but it is brunette, but it is shorter. Not with the braids you see Frozen. But that is a very interesting little tidbit about Maurice Sundin, and unfortunately they weren't able to get him to do more posters, but I think that was due to budget cuts. So, for a lot of the other posters, they had a very prolific and well-known artist, and, well, we know his work, but maybe some people just don't know him by name. His name is Drew Struzan. He has done a lot of pictures, poster art for the 80s and for the 70s. He's probably most famous for doing like all of the Star Wars Mombi's face, and she's kind of looking over the Oz emblem and holding it, and it's like a glowing green OZ emblem. That was one of his, and also what was one of his was the artwork on the box that came out for the VHS with Dorothy holding Belina, and they're all going down the yellow brick road.
Right.
That was also based on one of his drawings. And there's also a poster of Dorothy and Jack Pumpkinhead and the Scarecrow, but they're all little faces coming down this illustrated poster, and a lot of you may have seen that one as one of the posters that was also his work. And so they just used a lot of Drew's designs for that one.
Wow, that's very interesting. I didn't know until just now that he actually did that other poster of Dorothy holding Belina and them walking down the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, all the characters are.
Wow, that's very interesting.
And a lot of interesting other, as I did my website, as you know, I had a website, and I was looking all the time for different marketing campaigns for the movie, and I didn't know. I mean, as I was learning, I was searching a lot on eBay.
Right.
For different things, and I just came across different things, like in the U.S. there was the U.S. version of the press kit, and like sort of a folder with like many little photos of different scenes in the movie, and then the partial cast, and there were all kinds of other little things that were released in the U.S.
Right.
Beginning around 1984 and then continuing on to 1985, where they would release little things like, the Snuffers hand puppets of Tik-Tok, and there was one of the Dump, and then there was one of the Scarecrow. And interestingly enough, one thing I have yet to get that I would like very much, I've seen pictures of it, is a little doll of Dorothy. And it was created by this toy maker, this company called Zap. They're sort of a little independent mom and pop sort of company.
Wow.
A lot of their toys are created without batteries, which makes them very interesting.
That's very interesting.
And they've made this little doll in the likeness of Perusa, of course, with her blue dress on that completely matches Dorothy, and they put her in pigtails, and they gave her blue eyes, and the eyes open and close like many baby dolls do.
Wow.
And I thought that was an interesting thing. I don't know how long they released that toy. I'm sure it wasn't too long, but and then also but a lot of the things in the U.S. there were like in Dunkin' Donuts released a contest where you could some kind of contest where you could get Return to Oz things or something.
Right.
I've seen an advertisement for it, like in a newspaper, but it doesn't really go into detail as to what you'll win. It just says cut this little box top off or something off the boxes of Dunkin' Donuts. I guess you were supposed to collect them.
Right.
I kind of wonder about that too, because we did sign a deal with Disney and Return to Oz. But I've said it several times before, and I'll say it again, that there was a huge difference in say, England and things.
Right.
And I'd say that they still have it a whole lot better over in Europe because, I mean, it was like when this came out, this whole elephant bomb sensation was born.
Right, that's absolutely right.
And it got people interested in the books, and it got people collecting, and loving the movie. I just think that because, like, in England and in places like that, they actually made little Oz keys.
Yes, that's right.
For people to have, especially like at the premiere and stuff.
Right.
They were giving away, like, a whole bunch of different memorabilia from that looked just like it was on the set. And you could, see all these different shows, and you could read the books. You could, even in Japan, they released, Oz chocolate milk.
Wow.
With the different characters
Wow.
in their advertising. I did have a picture of that.
That's really
This Japanese movie program.
right.
Where it was really a big hit, and even, they even created things like chocolate milk.
I bet you wish.
Stuff that you would never think would come from a movie.
Right. And I bet you wish that you were there at the premiere, don't you?
Yes.
I bet.
Unfortunately, I was 3 years old.
Yeah. Right.
I would have loved to have been there, but
Yeah. I think that's funny because, let's say, the premiere was, when you were 12 or 13, you probably would have really appreciated it and maybe even had photos.
Even now.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
If there's some re-release or something.
Right.
I would have fully appreciated it, but
Yeah.
at the time I was only 3.
Yeah.
But I did love the Oz movies.
Right. Well, I think that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, well, Celia, that's really interesting, and I'm just assuming that there probably would be a lot of other marketing strategies that Disney used to promote the film. Isn't that right?
Yeah, when they opened up with it, when they faced this movie coming out, I'm sure there were a workload of different strategies that people were trying to come up with who were working on the film. And they were trying to use, like, different slogans for the poster.
Right.
There's always more than one tagline they use for movies.
Mm-hmm.
For Return to Oz, it was, they came up with 3 or 4 different taglines for the poster. Some of which were Return to the Land Where the Adventure Began. And
right.
There was a tagline that said, it's an all-new Disney adventure, live action filled Disney adventure with Disney magic.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the trailers that came out were trying to introduce you to this magical world. And the one trailer said, close your eyes, click your heels, and return to
that's
magical
right.
land.
That's right, yeah.
And I remember in one particular trailer, I believe it was the original theatrical one, and I did try to show you that this was a different kind of Oz that you were looking at from say, the 1939 movie.
Right.
The well-beloved movie. And it was going, this is the Oz you haven't seen before. this is the Oz you want to visit again and again.
That's right. I remember
And
that.
I think they were trying to capitalize on that. But for the release in America, for the audiences in America, it sort of backfired.
Mm-hmm.
But, they were trying very, very hard. I do think that a lot of what they chose to go with, or maybe, I've heard it said that sometimes the marketing strategies that they really wanted to go with they didn't end up using at the time, but they would have, and I've heard some filmmakers like Gary Kurtz, some of the people that worked on it, like Gary Kurtz, say that they had intended to market it in a much different way.
Right.
Than it was ended up looking like it was a film for children of all ages.
Right.
Which it wasn't.
That's right.
So, he said that maybe that really hurt that probably ended up really hurting the film. But yeah, they were ready to go in all kinds of different directions. With the marketing, with the poster art, with the pictures.
Well, Celia, obviously Return to Oz means so much to you and to myself and to so many other fans. And I am wondering, and I don't think anyone's asked you this before, but when you think of, the title of the movie, Return to Oz, what actually goes, in your mind? What do you think in your mind?
In my mind, well, I looked at the story and the approach to it that Walter was trying to take was that returning to Oz meant that we needed, when we're children growing up, and it's hard for all children growing up with the problems that we face.
That's right.
With the changes that go on growing up, and sometimes we see things at such a young age, and it makes a huge impression on us, a huge, huge impression, and we try and make sense of this world that seems to make no sense at all at times. And we were dealing with, at the time of, at the beginning of the movie, we're dealing with hardships in Dorothy's family, in Dorothy's little family.
Right.
Because they're building a new house because the tornado completely blew the other house away, and there's no remains of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to build a new house, and somewhere before the start of the movie, Uncle Henry has broken his leg.
Right.
And is unable to finish the house. And when we start the movie, it's in late October of 1899, and so that means that winter is fast approaching, and the house isn't finished yet. So Aunt Em worries about where they're going to stay. How are they going to survive the winter altogether?
Right.
And in the meantime, Dorothy's not sleeping, and she worries. She worries ever since she got back from Oz all those months ago. She worries about her friends, and she can't sleep. And she remembers the journey so vividly, and the events that happened in her mind so vividly that when she tries to share them with Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, they don't believe her. They say, well, it was just your imagination. But Dorothy knows in her heart of hearts, that it was very real for her.
Right.
But she had nobody to share it with, but maybe Toto. Toto went with her, and Toto believes Oz. So, but now I think that Returning to Oz, it's sort of a film and a sort of a theme of just instead of living in a world that can be harsh and demanding and cold and scary at times, we can still hold on to our own imagination and our own creativity and our own soul, our own very powerful selves.
That's right.
We can hold on to that to give us, and that can help us get through anything, even the darkest times.
That's right.
So it was about, that power that we had within ourselves. That, even when things look bleak and scary and we're daunted, but that's okay because we have a special power within ourselves, our creativity, our youth, our tenacity, our resilience to help get us through.
That's right.
And Dorothy was able to call upon that in herself again, and again triumph. And in the end, everything works out all right.
That's right. And she was finally able to make it home at the end.
Right.
Right. That's
So that's what it's about. It's about that magic and never letting go of this magic that you have inside you.
That's right.
That's what it is to me.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that very much. Well, thank you very much for that. I agree with you, and you're right. It's about the inner strength that you have to overcome, a problem, and look what she did in the end. She got everything restored into Oz, and she finally made it home safely to be with her loved ones and with her family, which is very special.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much today for your time, Celia. It's always a pleasure to do the show with you, and it's always much fun.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure, and I'll always come back and do this.
Yes, I know that you will, and it's been a lot of fun. And we do want to let everyone know we hope to continue the shows for
Yes, we are hoping to continue the shows
as long as we can. And we may not be a television series, but we are a radio series on the internet, and through that way we have more time ahead of us than some, and it's just a good thing. And we know that there are people listening, and we know that you're listening, and we appreciate the listeners.
Yes, we do.
Well, we're going to end the program today, but thank you again, and I appreciate your investment, Celia, and of course we appreciate all the other fans that like to listen to the show.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. This has been Aaron Passantine.
And Celia Foster.
Thanks for listening.
Learn more at the Oz Podcast.